So John Andretti just turned 54 years old. His pro racing career lasted more than 20 years, but now he's in the fight of his life, beginning treatment for stage 4 colon cancer. While his battle begins, he's hoping to help others get educated. John is undergoing treatment at Levine Cancer Center near his home in Concord, North Carolina. Well, back here in Indy today, John's son Jarrett and his cousin Michael Andretti were at the Andretti team shop on the northwest side. A huge wave of online support for John as his story has become public. They are promoting the hashtag #CheckIt4Andretti, encouraging men over 50 to get colonoscopies in hopes of catching cancer early. Michael and Jarrett talked about the wake-up call that this has been for the entire Andretti family.
It's tough, you know. I mean, me and John are close, and it was devastating for the whole family, to get that news, and on top of it, it gets very frustrating because it's something that could have been prevented. And John will be the first one, to tell you he's so mad at himself that he put it off. And had he gone a year ago, we wouldn't be talking about it.
You ask yourself the question why sometimes, and I think this is the answer. He's turning the negative into the most positive situation that he can, and raising awareness, getting people to get out and get colonoscopies, and just preventing as many other situations like his as possible. And I think that's a really fantastic thing.
John is into chemotherapy, doing well considering, though. Jarrett tells me his dad is planning to be here in Indy later this month, has a couple of fundraising events on the schedule. And John continues to do his work for Riley Hospital, even as his own fight continues. And remember the hashtag, there it is right there, #CheckIt4Andretti. Our Beth Vaughn continues our coverage now.
All right, Brad Brown, thank you so much. Potentially life-saving advice in the spotlight tonight, thanks to John Andretti. He posted this message on Twitter today: don't delay getting a colonoscopy. Now, joining us tonight is Dr. Peter Schwartz, an associate professor of medicine at the IU School of Medicine. So, Peter, tell me, what's the lesson we can all learn from Mr. Andretti's story?
Mr. Andretti, the lesson really is that colon cancer is a real thing. It's a cancer we don't really talk about very much. We talk about other cancers much more, even ones that are much less common. So breast cancer's in the news, brain tumors, which are actually much less common than colon cancer. But the example of Mr. Andretti is that colon cancer is a real thing, and it's important to know about.
We heard it. He wishes he would have gotten a colonoscopy earlier. Yeah. They're not that bad. The prep work is often talked about as the worst part of a colonoscopy. That's
correct. Colonoscopy is a terrific screening test. It's been around, it's been proven. It's a very safe test. There are annoyances and burdens to it, but it's a great test and it saves lives. There are some alternatives, though, if you are one of those folks who says, no thank you, I just can't do a colonoscopy. Yeah, even though the colonoscopy is such a good test, it's a lot to go through. Some people really don't want it. A lot of my patients say they just don't want it. And there are other tests available which are very good, too. So the most famous one is a stool blood test. It's when you collect a sample of stool at home, you send it to your doctor, they check it for blood. And you do it every year. And you're fine if it doesn't show blood. If it does show blood, you get a colonoscopy. And again, even though it's not maybe quite as good at colonoscopy at finding every polyp, it's very good. And over time, if you do it every year, it works really well. An easier solution there. Peter, thank you. We do want to mention, even if you don't feel sick, even if you don't have colon cancer in your family, you still need to be screened every year. All right, Peter. That's correct. Thank you so much. Kevin, over to you.
5:47.